Hello, hello. I wanted to record a masterclass today specifically for Mandarin, and we have a very unique question that I'd like to answer here, as you can see on my screen. So this comes from Crêpe qui avance. Crêpe qui avance. I love that. I love that username on Reddit, and it's studying Mandarin through a theater program. Studying Mandarin through a theater program. So I've studied Mandarin for a long time. I've studied with universities, a private school, individual tutors. I want to switch things up. I'm thinking of doing some kind of Mandarin language theater program, like acting or training or something like that. Do you have any suggestions? Like what would you recommend? So the very first thing I want to say is I know people who have actually done this or something very, very similar to this for different languages. I know someone who did this in French. She moved to France and she joined like a dance troupe and she spoke no French and like literally just learned French with the dance troupe. She currently has like a near native, very, very advanced level in French, at least orally, listening and speaking. And again, it came like almost entirely by joining a dance troupe. Years and years and years ago, I knew someone who moved to Calgary, where I live in Canada. He was learning English, and he did the same thing. He joined like a drama group, and very, very, very same thing. Like it helped him a lot to improve his English. And even me, like I've never actually done like a an acting based thing or theater training, like nothing like that particularly. But I'm a big, 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 big fan myself of doing things that are more immersive and a little bit off the beaten path as a way to learn a language. I mean, I have taught languages as a way to learn languages. That's a whole story. I have I've done some volunteering in the past where yeah, some volunteering in the past where like I'd be teaching English, but teaching English in Mandarin, for instance. Like this is a very effective way to be learning. Something you may want to actually research or Google. I believe it's called task-based language learning. I believe it's called, and you learn a language by doing another task. You're not actually studying; you're doing a task, and through that task, you then get good at the language. In many ways, that's what helped me a lot for for French and Spanish, even really. Like in French and Spanish, for example, you know, I got good at those languages through the lens. One of the things I did was through the lens of literature. Like we did a lot of literature discussions, but that was a way that then helped me to improve the language. I have so many examples of this. I have so many examples. I could go on forever and ever and ever. Now, as a practical tool, let me share my screen again. I actually have never even looked at this. I don't know if there will be anything, but if you want a practical tool for something like this, you may want to, let me share my screen here. You may want to look into, here we go. You may want to look into something like Workaway. And so Workaway has job opportunities, some volunteer opportunities. Actually, I think they're mostly volunteering, but maybe there's jobs. I actually don't know. In different countries. So maybe if you just like search for stuff on Workaway, you might find something like that. Another way me personally, whenever it comes to some kind of like non-standard approach to learning a language, what I've often done is I don't actually directly try and find that non-standard approach. That's not what I do. I don't directly try and find the non-standard thing. What I might do instead is I will find something that gets me into the country, and then once I'm in the country, then I start to look. So I'll give an example of something like this. One thing I've done I've done this a lot. I will find a language school in another country. I'll find a language school that offers a homestay option. I will sign up for enough classes for me to then get the homestay. Maybe it's like one class a day or who knows what it is, right? 1 hour a day, whatever. So now I have the school, I got the homestay, right? Once I then arrive in the country, I now have a whole bunch of resources at my disposal to go find other things that I might want to do. So if I sign up for one lesson a day for a month or whatever it is, the school, I can now ask the school. I can ask my teachers. I can ask them, where do I find a comedy group? Where do I do this? Where do I do that? And they're then going to ask around their friends. They're going to then tap into their networks to help you. The homestay, same thing. I asked the homestay mom, the homestay dad, the homestay family, like, hey, I want to do XYZ. Can you help me find it? So I was in a really good example of this. Lord, I have so many examples of this, but like uh, one that comes to mind off the top of my head was when I was in Taipei. I had a homestay family I was living with, and I was like, man, I want to like get more involved and like practice Mandarin in like a really real life kind of a way. And the homestay mom that I had, she actually opened a door for me. She was a teacher, and she was part of like teacher groups on Facebook and stuff like that. And she got me little speaking gigs, basically. Like I would go to different schools and present about Canada in Mandarin in the schools. And the teachers would ask me questions, the kids would ask me questions, they'd welcome me to the school. And I went to like, I can't remember how many places. I could have gone to like a different school every day if I wanted to. I just didn't have the time. I could have been traveling the country or traveling the island or whatever, like literally all over the island. I could have been traveling, going to different schools, just talking to people and like giving presentations, like, and that came through the homestay family. I could have never had that opportunity looking for it from here in Canada. I had to have found the local connection. And I find my local connections often through language schools that offer a homestay option. And then I'll sign up for a minimum number of language classes that then opens up or enables that homestay option to happen. And then I use that as my entry point to get the thing that I really want. So I hope that helps. Workaway also, that website I showed you, workaway.com is another way you may want to look into that. A lot cheaper than hiring a language school or something like that. But anyway, those are some options. I hope this is useful for you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time, or talk to you soon, I guess.